Alright, back onto the test server for another different build. Now, I don't normally do this many videos relating to the test server, but because I've played it so much the last couple of weeks, I don't actually have that much stuff recorded from the most recent version of the game. And actually, this isn't even the most recent version of the test server. There have been a couple more variations, like small adjustments right at the end of the testing cycle. So some of the units in this video will have already been changed. I forget exactly which ones, but the star of the show is going to be Peachiu. I think that's the correct pronunciation for it. It's the green dragon guy on tier 5, which generates gold if you feed it enough mana. I guess we'll see in a second when we find out which version we're using in this video. But what I wanted to do was go for a Peachiu game where we try and buy as many Peach of immortalities as possible. Peaches of immortality. I'm not sure what the plural should be on that. And yeah, I'm not sure why I haven't done this on the live server before, because this is definitely something you can do in the game already. But yeah, I just thought I would give it a try on the test server since they were running through a bunch of different variations of this unit. I thought I might as well give it a try. So we're just trying to find Peachiu here. We're getting lots of Cyclops, which is another really great change on the test server. Cyclops now, it doesn't have as good base stats, but it gives mana on every single level up. So on the first level up, it will give the chocolate, but every subsequent level up, you only get the mana. So I think that's a pretty big buff, because it means you can have a bunch of mana spenders that all have gingerbread, and then they're all going to get mana from the Cyclops instead of just one of them. The amount of mana it gives has also been increased. So at level 2 you're getting 4, and level 3 you're getting 6. So honestly, you can pretty much use it as a mana generator in its own right, especially for some of the more powerful mana spending units that, you know, like Sea Serpent can do an awful lot of damage even with a relatively small amount of mana. So we find Peachiu here, we bring it in. I didn't actually see what the ability text said there. I think it's I think in this version it was spend 3 mana to gain 4 gold. So the same as the live server, except a lower cost. So I guess we'll find out now. We've got 6 mana. Okay, it spent 4 there. So I'm not sure, maybe this isn't any different to the live one, but yeah, this opposing team summons an absolutely gigantic Nessie, so we get destroyed there. But that's not surprising, really. If you're going to be going for these types of investment strategies, usually they're weak when you first start using them, and then they kind of get out of hand pretty quickly. So we get the chocolate, and I should just take the gingerbread, yep. And then we get a Peach of Immortality there, and I actually roll past it because I think at this stage I hadn't realised that that was probably the best thing I could be doing. But luckily we get Sea Serpent on level up here, so that can help us stabilise if we're still struggling to win, which may well be the case. And actually I think some of these opposing teams that I'm going against are my own teams. Oftentimes, because I tend to play weak or atypical teams, we end up in this kind of situation where we're getting towards the late game, we have very few trophies, and so we're facing the other teams in the same boat. And I'm pretty sure some of these double pen gobble teams were in fact my own. And the test server, because it was retaining teams from the previous version, it's still using them just with a different anonymous account. So we get the level 2 Sea Serpent, so that should make a big difference. And then now we can get on to the job of actually buying as many peaches as we can find. See there, we do double damage to this team that had, what was it? The Visitor. Actually ends up being a tie because the Vampire Pack gains so much health. And we'll take Cornucopia because you can get Peach of Immortality from Cornucopia as well. And there we go. Especially since now you get 3 choices. I think that's one of the best changes. It's such a simple change, but it makes such a difference having 3 different selections instead of 2. Oftentimes I would find myself buying buying Cornucopia in the previous version, and then being presented with two options, neither of which I wanted. Like you might get popcorn soft ice or something. But with three choices, because so many of the tier 6 foods are so good, I think it's very unlikely with three choices that you're going to get three untakeable options. So of course we also have Lucky Cat going here. I think Lucky Cat is a tier 3 on the test server. So we are actually generating extra gold from that compared to the live server. And we get a couple more peaches. I think ultimately the goal here was to try and get enough purchases so that a Peach of Immortality was giving plus 2020. I think, I'm not sure on the live server what my record would be, but it's probably only like 6 or 7. Of course, it is kind of dependent on actually finding the peaches in the first place. Even with tons of gold, it's perfectly possible to go an entire turn rolling and never seeing one. Especially if you need to buy other stuff to keep yourself alive. Okay, we get hot dog this time. Now we don't want to take the chocolate here because the Cyclops is giving extra mana to all of the units that already have the gingerbread. Once we get some good stats going with the peaches, we could potentially swap some of the gingerbreads because the mana won't be as important. But especially the Lucky Cat needs to have gingerbread, otherwise it's not going to trigger the level up ability at all. So another Pen Gobble plus Chimera team, but luckily it's only a level 2 Chimera. And so I think we are going to be able to whittle down the goat and the lion. Yeah, just barely. Now we're on 8. We are getting to the point where we're going to have to start either just losing naturally or throwing turns in order to find more peaches. So that's our 5th peach. But you can see how easy it is, even when you've got loads of extra gold, you're rolling down and just not finding anything. And we do find another one. Now I hear I should just buy one of those cornucopias instead of specifically looking for peach. You know, if we don't find it, no big deal, but with only 3 rolls left, we were very fortunate there to actually find another peach in the shop. Now this team is definitely not going to be good enough to beat us. Level 3 Ghost Kitten at the back does make me think that might be another of my own teams. But yeah, we end up winning there. So now we're on 9. If we want to find more peaches, we're actually going to have to throw. So, of course, every time you're buying a peach, you're reducing the chances that you're going to lose the next turn because the stats we're getting are so extreme. But I think we can at least put the Sea Serpent to the back. We still have to have the Peachiu at the front in order for the rock to give it mana and give us gold to find more peaches on the following turn. You can see there I briefly considered putting the rock right at the front, but that's not going to work because we need the gold. Another Pen Gobble plus Chimera team. I wouldn't worry too much about this being an issue on the live server. Pen Gobble's been changed and also Chimera has been changed. So it's not going to be possible anymore to summon 3 50/50s. At least that's the way it is as of time of recording. Who knows if it'll be different when everything actually goes live. But luckily that team provides us with a loss. And we're up to 10-10 now with the Peach. I think getting to 2020 is very, very unlikely at this stage. Another cornucopia passed up. I think we're really only averaging about 2 or 2.5 peaches a turn, which is way below what I was hoping for. And yeah, we do get pretzel, but of course that's only going to be plus 2/2 because of the Lucky Cat. Another Chimera Kitsune team. Kind of hard to tell what's going to happen here. I guess they are going to get up to 50/50 again. Yeah, they summoned 3 43/43s. Could this end up being a tie? I guess it depends. Yeah, the Sea Serpent just doesn't have enough mana, I think, to do enough damage to remove. Yeah, it's so close though. If I just bought 1 or 2 mana potions instead of wasting all that gold on rolls, I think we could have been okay there. But that puts us down to 1 heart, so yeah, we're not going to get anywhere near 20 peaches. Maybe I should have had double Peachiu instead of Lucky Cat. I guess it doesn't really make too much difference. If we had double, we probably would have had fewer options in terms of trying to throw, but we don't find any more peaches, so yeah, even with not getting close to the 20 peaches purchased, the stats on the team are still pretty solid. Not anywhere near what you would be getting at this stage of the game with a full level up team with Team Spirit in the current live version. But on the test server, I actually get matched with, I'm pretty sure this is myself again, playing the double Pengobble plus Rock team, and it's not going to be too difficult to get the win. It's obviously pretty easy to buy a ton of peaches in customs or in certain weeklies when you've got access to other gold or efficiency units, you know, things like a hamster. But it's nice to be able to use Peach of Immortality in the pack that it was designed for.